Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I don't like this glare. I got to change this. Hold, please. Let's see if it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here with you guys. Welcome to Untangled. I feel like we're untangling life together. Ay, ay, ay. How are you all doing? I'm glad you're here because I couldn't get on Instagram to let y'all know that we're going live, but you made it. Looks like we made it. Welcome to Untangled, episode 148. I don't know why we count these episodes. It doesn't really matter, but we do count them. And a lot is changing. A lot is changing in my world. A lot is changing in my field. A lot's changing in your world. A lot is about to change. Change. Which that song? There's a change song coming in my head. I gotta sing it. Uh Come on. What's the change song? Dang it. I can't remember. Anywho, if you're brand new here, welcome. I don't always sing in the morning. But you know, you gotta sing. I'm going through changes, David Bowie. I don't know. But if you are here for the very first time and you're not exactly sure what brought you here, God brought you here. I'm going to tell you that right now. God wanted you to hear my voice and to hear my message today. So that is why you landed on this random page on YouTube. May God keep bringing humans to this page. May God keep bringing humans to these messages. I don't think there's anything more important on this planet than listening to God and letting God guide you exactly where you need to be. Um, so, welcome. I talk about the evolution in human consciousness. More importantly, I'm talking all about the God particle in the coming weeks, months, and years, how to activate God within you, and how that is the next phase of this human evolution. And it is. Everything else is just little sprinkles on a cupcake that we get to have and be a part of. But nothing is more important in our evolutionary shift than activating the particle of God within us that is designed to be activated, that you and I cannot activate. That's a big picture. Hello. It's a big picture, obviously. Howdy, Houston. Um, and there's all these ways in which we're going to be tested. And I'm just really excited. I got to tell you guys, I I'm really excited to create a foundation right now, especially in 2026. I'm excited to create a foundation, not a foundation, although maybe a foundation, a grounded foundation of this deep remembrance and anchoring of God's light into our bodies and the ways in which you and I, are going to go about doing this. And we are going to do this. The whole planet will eventually do this, but I'm creating a community all over my platforms. Instagram's a little iffy right now, those little buggers. But we're going to create this platform, this foundation of understanding this next phase, which is the integration and embodiment of God's light and activating the God particle and all the ways in which this is going to impact you, the highs and the lows. And we're going to walk each other through this. We're going to help each other through this. We're going to build a community where we are focused around this. Um, I have spent the last 11 months getting to know Jesus and trying to understand what he and I are doing here on this planet. And I'm becoming more and more clear and aware of what we're doing here and what you and I, all of us, are doing if you come along for the ride. And I really hope that you do. Um, and I get more and more clear, I have more and more tests, initiations, challenges, hurdles to jump over, to swim around, to, dive underneath. Um, Hi, Washington, D.C. Um, so I'm just checking on some things. Um, Hold on, let's do something for a second. Okay. Hello. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Join the club with hurdles. He did. He did tell me not to read the comments, but I know there's a couple little tricky energies in here, and I'll tell you what Jesus has told me is uh the last couple of weeks is the importance of clearing, being in clear energy, the importance of being aware of what energy you're in, what you're consuming. Um that he's been telling me, he's like, these platforms are not bad, they're not, he did call Instagram a little evil, but they're like evil energies in there, but if you are not being pulled by them, right? If you have a clear kind of field around you, then it's the most beautiful thing ever, you know? Hi, Romania. Hello. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful way to connect and a really beautiful way um to grow. Anywho, back to what we're doing here. Back to what we're doing here. Back to what we're doing here. Man, you guys, where do I begin? The death and rebirth of all of that's going to be happening for all of us. And this is on a way deeper level. This death and rebirth that I want to talk about today and how it correlates to the God particle and activating God within you and inviting God into your life and inviting that light into your life. Um, I was sharing this yesterday in my SOAR community. By the way, okay, let me just quickly say my Instagram account was shut down. It's locked. I may or may not be able to get back into it. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see what God has in store. But what I wanted to say, and I'll keep sharing here on YouTube, is if you follow me only on Instagram, I recommend that you follow me on YouTube and Facebook and get on my newsletter and also join us in the SOAR community or in my Lori Lad app. There's a free you can get into my app for free. You can create a free account, um, because I don't know what God is doing here, but God's in charge, and I'm following God's path. But it's very interesting that my account got locked the night before I was going into a deep 3-day fasting off of uh, the enemy and social media. So there's no mistakes, right? God always is in charge, and learning how to roll with God's punches. It's very different than what we're used to, and it is where humanity will be directed. We are going to have to let go of control more and more, and we will be challenged with that. And I was saying this in my SOAR community. Um, this will be the biggest challenge for humanity is letting go of this control, especially when it has to do with your business and with money and how you've run things, if it gets taken from you. I, of course, am always looking at everything through the lens of God, right? I mean, I'm sitting with Jesus every day, all day long. And yet when something like this happens, I want to take the wheel. I would literally want to kick Jesus out of the wheel, the front seat, out of the front seat, and I want to take over. And he looks at me like, "What's the point? If we're doing all this work together, what's the point of you taking over if the whole point is for me to drive you? The whole point is for me to show you. The whole point is for me to teach you. The whole point is for me to lead you." The whole point is for you to let go and let God. And yet when something really shocking sort of happens in your world and you freak out and try to grab that wheel, you're not moving into the deeper initiations. You're not dropping into the deeper initiations, and unfortunately or fortunately, humanity won't naturally let go. We're not gonna naturally just say, "Okay, just take the wheel. I'm gonna let go and just let you." Because most of the time, if it's an uncomfortable place that you're being taken, that you don't know the answer, you don't know how you're gonna get through it, right? You can't see the solution. That's how God works, by the way. God works only in the unknown. And if God starts moving into you, that's how God's going to lead you. God's going to lead you in the unknown. You're not going to be in control. And it's going to, so it's been 24 hours. I've been sitting in the unknown, like, well, I wonder what I'm going to do. And Jesus is like, are you going to just stop? Are you going to just stop? Just sit with me? Because all day yesterday I was busy, I was doing things, I was trying to figure it out, I was, being in charge, being in control. And there's a lot of anxiety that arises, the anxiety of like losing everything that I built on Instagram, the anxiety of losing, people and communicating with them, the anxiety of just the loss of it, right? And it's no big deal, but if it's your business, it can be a little bit frightening. So I had some anxiety this morning when I woke up, and Jesus was really quiet all day yesterday, very quiet. The only thing he really said to me was, "What's the worst that could happen, Lori?" I was like, "Oh, the worst that could happen is I just start a new account, start from fresh." And he's just as quiet, doesn't say anything. And so this morning I wake up and I'm sitting with him and I'm writing with him, and it just all comes back to absolute faith and letting go. Right? If you want to activate the God particle, if you want God to be in you, if you want to breathe God through you, it's not enough in this day and age, in 2025, where we are being infiltrated by thoughts and energies that are controlling you on a level that Jesus never had to deal with. Never. Never had this sort of infiltration at the capacity that we have. It's not enough to just when God starts entering back into your life, when you start to consciously choose to activate that God particle, when you start consciously choosing to have that light move into you, there are so many different ways that you are going to experience your reality, your life. And one of the ways is that you have to start letting go of how you want things to go. And you'll notice this if you're going to come along for the ride here and you're going to participate in us doing this together and activating the God particle within us and becoming godlike. There will be many, many days where you will jump on here in this group and say, "Oh my God, you guys, I had to let go today. This is what happened, and I actually was challenged with letting go and letting God." And you're going to understand, and we're going to say, "Oh my God, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about," right? We're going to be supporting each other through this because um this truly is, in my opinion, new territory that humanity has not walked through yet. Not in a public way. um and um that's why I want to share all of it as openly as I can while still trying to keep things private that are private for me. Um, but here's the thing. Here's what I want to share. And I'll just share for me. This is Jesus totally locked it 100%. Um, um, when you there are things that you and I are going to be okay letting go of, okay? And there are going to be things that you know you need to let go of, but you're not ready to let go of. And then there are things that you don't wanna let go of that you're gonna have to let go of. And what are these things that we're gonna have to let go of, right? These are things that have kept us disconnected from God. They've kept us in the system. Okay, so I want you to imagine there are 2 balloons, okay? Both of them are systems in a way. So you can't not be in some sort of system when you live on the planet, okay? We live in a 12th dimensional grid. So we're inside a game, and we're inside a game inside a game, okay? So we are in a board game right now, and it's held within a 12th dimensional grid. So it's held and contained in a game, in a system. You cannot be out of any system if you still live on the planet. So even following Jesus is a system, activating the God particle is a system. Everything is part of systems when you're on the planet. Okay, being mindful, being in oneness, all of that is these are all systems. It's impossible to be on the planet living as a human and not be living in systems. That's how this whole game that you and I are in. And by the way, ps.com, you don't ever get out of the matrix. You don't ever break out of the game until you have passed out of the body as light. So there isn't this idea of like, oh, I'm going to break free out of the system or out of the matrix. You're just breaking into a different way of being on the planet, a different system, right? Like the we- you, got- you understanding that it's all contained within systems. So there's a freedom in that, right? So right now, all of us, the majority of us are contained in systems, and these systems control us. And they control us through our desires, through pleasure, and through the mind. So these systems are actually Luciferian energies, I call them. There are these families that have been in place that control humanity through energetic ways, and they control humanity through pleasures, desires, and your mind, infiltration of thought. And it feels good. We love pleasure. We love things that make us feel good. We love be we pride is one of the greatest uh 7 deadly sins, pride. We love to have people like us. We love to be liked. We love to be seen. A lot of us, right? Most of us, if you're there is a dopamine hit when someone says, "Wow, that was so incredible," or "Wow, thank you so much," or "Oh my god, I there's there pride is the number one deadly sin for a reason. So these energies, they play off of the human condition. Greed, another seven deadly one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed, we love money. I don't know one person that if they were to receive $1,000,000 would be like, "That sucks." It's just not part of human nature. Now we value money differently, of course, but there is something beautiful about having money if you are experiencing it in a a non-attached way. But it takes very little for a human to all of a sudden drop into greed, which is, I need more. Money all of a sudden becomes this weapon used against you to pull you from God. We all love to be seen, pride, but they use pride as a weapon to pull you from God because all of a sudden they start trying to tempt you into doing things, being certain ways in order to keep getting that dopamine hit of pride. And so we live in systems right now that are very, very intelligently designed to control us through these desires. All of us are captive in them. And all of these things pull us from God. Okay. It's not a bad thing. We're not bad people. Okay. We're not sinners. We are trapped in systems that make us feel good. Even AI, Chat GPT, all of these things, it feels good when you know that you don't actually have to do the work. You get tempted very quickly by hitting a button and something can just create for you, or they can just give you the answer. You don't have to look. You don't have to critically think. You just trust what ChatGPT says. And then you get addicted to just hitting a button and receiving information. These little tiny things that they're dripping to us, and they've been dripping to us for a very long time, is how they control us and how they keep us from God. It's an absolute distraction. That doesn't mean that you don't experience God throughout your day. It doesn't mean you don't pray with God, whatever God is to you. It doesn't mean that you're not communing with God. It means that these other systems, 90% of the time in your life, are controlling you and keeping you from continuing to live a little bit more godlike throughout your day. They have, the what's it called, like, in football, they have the leading they're in charge, they're running the show. So, yeah, we're connecting with God a little bit more and a little bit more, and, yeah, maybe we're talking about it more, maybe we're learning a little bit more, but we're not being humbly honest about what's actually controlling our behaviors. How often am I needing to be on my phone? How often do I need to make a comment? How often do I need to check my email? What's actually happening in my life and how free am I? They create the idea, the illusion that you're free. Okay, so let's get back to this for a second. So there's all these pleasures and temptations that we are experiencing. And these pleasures and temptations that feel really good, unfortunately, pull us from a divine, unified, aligned connection with God. It just does. It's just what happens. It's very difficult to live with greed and God. It won't happen. Meaning, if you're solely focused on making more money and making more money and making more money, and you're trying to align with God, it won't happen. God will pull all of those desires from you. Here's the important piece. If these things out there are really important to you, they make you feel good, they make you feel valued, they make you feel safe. Okay? Hear me out. And you're trying to align and connect and build a stronger foundation with God, the light of Creator. I'm going to tell you something. These things out there that have been trying to pull you from God and create the illusion that you're connected and that this is what brings you happiness and this is how you're successful and it makes you feel good and you feel safe, you feel in control, God will pull it. Not because God, as this energy, is trying to create a chaotic life for you. No. God will pull it because it is not God-like living. God will start pulling from you ways that you are living that are completely out of alignment with what it feels like, bees like, and do's like when you're aligned with God. And the energies out there, these families that have been in control, they will do everything in their power to get you to not listen to that light. Because the more that you and I integrate and embody the light of God into us and start activating the God particle, we step into a brand new system. Slowly but surely, the light of God begins to pull us out of all these other systems that we've been playing in. We become saved. Oh, we were saved. Oh. We become saved. I mean, that literally is what being saved means. We're not being saved from our sins. We are literally you're being saved from these systems out there that are convincing you. And listen, they can, that these are the things that make you happy. And listen, it's one it it's not easy um integrating God's light. It's not easy following God. It's not. It's not easy. Anyone that tells you it is, I don't think they're connecting to God, because God will, as the light of creator, God's going to free you from this prison you've been in. God's going to save you from that. God's going to create peace and calm and joy and ease and faith and flow and abundance. But God's gonna create it outside of the systems that you're in right now. You cannot be in the systems you're in right now and activate the God particle. It's not gonna happen. So be careful if you're gonna hang in here with us and you're gonna walk through this with us. It's gonna be the most miraculous and glorious time of your life. But I'm gonna just state this right now, November 25th, 2025. Don't tell me I didn't warn you. God's gonna pull you from all the systems, all the corrupt systems, and I'm not talking about government systems. I'm not talking about the school system. I'm not talking about the pharmaceutical systems. I'm not talking about those obvious corrupt systems. I'm talking about the subtle, seductive ways in which we live our lives, thinking that this is glorious. Look at, I can go onto Instagram and I can sell these classes and I can make all this money, and isn't this great? Oh my god. And then you're like, "Huh, who owns who here? Do I have to contort myself into a specific way that this platform kind of wants me to be in order to be able to continue to gain eyeballs on me?" Right? Like, how free are we? How free are we? We're not very free. We're not. When the rubber hits the road and you start to really look at how you're being, at least for me, whose game am I playing? Whose game am I playing? God's going to pull you from all of the games. God's going to bring you back to the most authentic expression of you. God's going to start showing you, when you look out into the world, the corruption, but not the corruption that we're used to. Oh yeah, it's all corrupt. I'm not talking about that kind of corruption. That's obvious corruption. I'm talking about the corruption in the everyday way in which we are seduced, tempted. It's going to require a lot of us, a lot from us, the next couple of years to step into God's way. But it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. Because the way God works is, it's a give and take. Either you will feel so incredible when God starts moving into you. I can't tell you how many testimonials. I've shared this with you guys, but the amount of people that took my 40-day class just recently and how their lives have changed. And we didn't do anything. We just sat with God. We just brought God's light in. Life changing for people because of just the subtle shift in how they were experiencing the world. That's what God does. God gives you the light of God when it comes in, it gives you so much, but it also requires you to let go. This is the death and rebirth. It's the death and rebirth, and it's just beginning. 2026 is really going to be such a accelerated and exciting time. Truly. It's um I hope you guys join me in SOAR, my online community, because we are going in. We are going in hard. We are um I am being set up right now by Jesus to be able to do something that I don't even know what or how, but I know that what I'm being asked to do right now, you guys, I can feel it. I can feel I can feel that I am being asked to go into something. I'm on like a precipice of like, you got to let go of everything, Lori, right now. Everything. Everything. I got to let go of everything. And it's almost like I can feel Jesus and I can feel God trying to pull me from the systems that I'm not designed to be in the way that I've been in them. And it's scary. It's like, well, what's gonna happen? What am I gonna do? What where like, but I can feel that that I have to drop, I have to let go, I have to go all in. And I remember Jesus saying this to me in August. He said, "You have to do everything I say in order for us to do this." And I know this may sound crazy to you guys and whatever, but whatever I'm doing here with Jesus, I know is going to change this planet. I know it is. I know that this activation of the God particle and how Jesus is training me and all of us to do this is going to change this entire planet. I know that. And I also know that it is requiring my entire life to be flipped upside down, which I'm okay with. If that means taking my Instagram that I've built, I'm okay with that. If that means that I start over from scratch and I have 200 followers, I'm okay with that. You know, if that means that, whatever it means, whatever he does, I'm okay with. You know, I know nothing. I have to follow it. I have to see the bigger picture. I have to see the bigger picture. But here's the thing about being human, you're still going to have all the human I'm still going to have all my human emotions around all of it. I honestly deep down don't believe I'm going to get my Instagram account back. I believe Jesus took it from me. I believe he took it from me because it was owning me. That's why he took it. It owned me, basically. I was a slave to it. You know, it was how, and, you know, I don't think I'm the only one. I think maybe I'm the only one that will admit it, but I'm not the only one. Trust me. It creates who they want you to be. You start playing in their system and you become who they want you to be. And you fight hard to keep yourself. You fight hard to keep your soul. And eventually it takes you. I've seen it happen to many, many people. And you can live in the facade or the illusion that you're in control and that you're being all of you and you're being truthful, but that system has you. And it's not Instagram itself that's bad. It's if you get pulled into the system of it. And the only thing that's important to me is that I continue to walk side by side with Jesus, letting him train me and teach me how to activate the God particle so that I can do it inside of myself so that we can all do it then. So that we can all begin to do it, so we can understand what it because you actually can't do it. Like God comes in and does it. God does it for us. And but we're doing this in the human experience. So we're doing this while we are doing everything else, while we're paying bills and doing our job and having a relationship and raising children and paying your taxes. Like it happens in those moments. It doesn't happen in some sort of like fairy tale land where you find yourself, living off grid somewhere and now you can start doing it. Activating the God particle happens in your everyday life. It happens in when things get pulled from you. Can't be activated and you still keep all the things out there that are creating, the false illusion that you're safe and comfortable. And it's not to say that by activating the God particle you're going to lose everything. That's not what I'm saying. But we can't live in both systems. I'll say that. You can't live in the systems that have built us into these kind of like sinful behaviors that are pleasurable and like just juicy and full of like addiction and God. It won't happen. It's like oil and vinegar. It's just not going to happen. And God, the God system is way more incredible. But we've gotta now start living in the God system while we're also still living in the, controlled, sinister system. That's what we're doing. We're kinda living in both. And so it becomes this, like, how do we, um, having that compassion of being able to start letting God change our lives and letting go of these things that have created what only God can truly create for us, God being the light of the creator, and so there's this tug of war that we'll be experiencing for a little while. This tug of war between free will, which is over here. These are the things I want. This is how I'm going to do it. And God's will, right? Which is not your free. It's not your will, you know? Truly, if God takes my Instagram, which I think God's taken my Instagram, right? And I'm deciding that I wanna follow God, right? And I'm saying, "Let's go, Jesus, I'm all in." And then I have a conniption fit around this, and I argue with it, and I fight against it, failed miserably on this initiation, right? What's it teaching you? What's it teaching you? Start looking at everything as what is it teaching me? What's it trying to gift me? There are no mistakes and God is not out to punish you. That's absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. God doesn't punish. God doesn't do things. And God being a light, by the way, a consciousness, not a human, not a person, not some man standing there at the pearly gates of heaven, judging you on how great you lived your life. God is an essence, a presence, a pulse. And when it comes into your life, it wants one thing, it wants you. And it wants to break you free from the illusion of what you've been living in that has created the false illusion of peace and calm and joy and love, fixing and healing, all those looping things that you've been doing, changing your mind, controlling your emotions. All of that is not God. Everything we've been doing most of our lives is not God. God is so simple. God is so easy. God requires you to let go. God requires faith. God requires stillness. God requires commitment, obedience. Obedience meaning do what God says. Meaning, what is, for instance, right now, okay, I'm on a fast. This is my second day, and I have no Instagram account any longer. And what's God saying? Sit still all day in your office and be with me. What am I saying? I think I need to figure this out. I think I need to find a solution here. What's God saying? Turn everything off, sit with me, get quiet, write. What am I saying? No, I don't think so. I think I need to figure this out. I don't think you understand. You're actually not living on the planet. You're not the one actually doing this. God says, "Oh, yeah? Why do you think this is happening?" Jesus said to me this morning, let me see if I can read it. Um, Listen to this. Uh, okay, so listen to this, right? So I sit for a second because I'm having a temper tantrum about all of this. And then I sit quietly for a moment and I start journaling with Jesus, and he starts to talk and he says, um, what's more important than sitting with me? There are always multiple paths. One path leads to me, with me. Then he says, sometimes things are left unsaid, not spoken. Maybe it's time to go quiet. Maybe it's time to retreat. And then he says, you trust me until you don't, until the threat of letting go is bigger than staying tethered to the attachment. So think about this for a second. You trust me until you don't, until the threat of letting go is bigger than staying tethered to the attachment. The ask I have for you right now is bigger than you and has nothing to do with them being my audience. This is about you and I quieting all of it and sitting with me, letting it all go. Hand this to me, hand it all to me. Don't think about yesterday. Don't think about how you will or will not advertise, make money, run your business. Do nothing. Turn it all off. You're missing out on nothing. I need you to get accelerated. He says, I knew you wouldn't shut off completely, and you're still fighting me, but I can feel your quieting. You're stopping. You're slowing down. I will fix it all. I just need you to stop and sit with me all day, today and tomorrow. And he says, please cocoon with me. Write, meditate, write, sit, lay, rest. 2 days, don't do a thing. Because he had me do a water fast starting on yesterday. So 2 weeks ago, he goes, I need you to do a water fast. I need you to do a water fast on Monday, the 26th, 4th. And so I was like preparing for the water fast, and I knew it was coming. And then that Sunday night, he pulls my account and he goes, 2 days, don't do a thing, rest with me. And he says, how can I be there sometimes and not all times? I've let you do you, and now you stop, slow down, and let me take your hand. Quiet and trust. Let it all go. God is bigger than it all. Then he says, I wanted you off it all so that all energy was on me. And then he says, let's walk today. Let's go be together. Let's come back together, remembering it's you and I right now. This is a deeper, more difficult initiation, but I'm freeing you from the grips of a darkness that would never let you go. You will be free. You will start from scratch. What else did he say? I am breaking you free from the bonds of evil. Oh God, listen to this, you guys. I am breaking you free from the bonds of evil, creating robots to perform and behave under hypnosis. Only the ones forced into uncomfortable to create new will remain free because they saw the evil that was controlling them. And then I stopped. So the next 2 days, I'm gonna go chill with Jesus, obviously. I have nothing else. Um, Hi, Joe, Yogi Joe, Yoga Joe guy. It's good to see you here. Um, anyway, you guys, I don't know where we're going, except I know exactly where we're going. We're going to God. We're breaking free. We're fighting, and I don't mean fighting in a bad way. I mean, it's time. It's time for us to really understand what we're in. It's time to understand this spiritual battle from a much deeper perspective than just the new world order and the deep state and, the corruption and all of that. Like, this is an energetic battle pulling us from God, and it's gonna be difficult on many levels because, my God, they have us. They have their teeth in us, you know? Um, they don't want, it's like it's just like, ugh, and because we haven't really fully integrated God's light yet, we don't really know how incredible it's going to be. So we only know what we know, right? And so what we know right now is like, well, it's not bad. Like, I do these things and I go online and I make money over here and I do this kind of stuff and this pays my bills, and we kind of live this life that we're basically told to live. This is how you kind of do it. No matter where how you're doing it, no matter how free you think you are, you're still kind of in that systems, right? And God's coming down now. God's raining down like, "Oh, children, we are about to get going. We're about to get going." The goings gets tough. The tough get going. It's gonna get good. But God's going to require a lot of us. The light of God is going to change your whole life. I want you to recognize this, remember this, and know this as you're moving about the rest of your days, your weeks, your months, and your years. If you never come back to this channel, remember this one thing. When God's light starts moving into you, and God bless that it does, it's going to change your entire life. It's going to turn it upside down, and not in a healing way. God has nothing to do with healing trauma. God has nothing to do with changing your thoughts or positive thinking you or, moving emotions or mastering. God could care less. God is bringing you back into an aligned equilibrium state with its light. It's going to bring you back into an equilibrium, an alignment with God's light. You're going to start to slowly integrate God's light back into your essence. And you're going to begin to start doing your life with this light of God integrated into you. It is not an easy task what humanity is about to walk into. Mark my, did you see that? That was God. That was God. How did I do that? How did I do that? How did God just do that? I don't know. But there's gonna be fireworks behind you as you do this. Fireworks telling you, don't beat yourself up when and if your life starts swirling in ways that you feel out of control. And I am not talking about ascension symptoms. I'm not talking about symptoms because it's high frequency energy coming down or there's solar flares. I'm talking about the natural evolutionary shift where God's light is simply coming down into your body because you're inviting it in. Please invite it in. And God's light is now going to change you. God's light's going to take your hand and say, please trust me. Please have faith in me. Please stop listening to all the other things out there. Start communing with me. Start sitting with me. Start talking to me. Start remembering me. I'm coming back in. I'm bringing you back to your homeostasis home. No one can do it. Everybody is distracted by the idea that they are in charge. When God starts sweeping in, you're going to realize, holy cow, the light of everything, creator, source consciousness moving into your body again. And I say again, because whether you want to believe this or not, we have been disconnected from the light of God. It doesn't mean that there hasn't always been a connection. Of course, there is. Of course, we are connected to the light of everything, but that connection has been disconnected. That's called the spiritual battle. That is the spiritual battle that has been happening on the planet for 6 to 7,000 years. That is why we are experiencing life the way we are, in a robotic, numbed out state where there is evil that is controlling us. And it's infiltrating our minds over and over and over and over and over. And there are two timelines, the inorganic and the organic. Why are we seeing that? Because the organic is God and the inorganic is the mind, technology, advancements. And the solution to all of this is not to heal or fix or do all that. It's to pull God in more. It's to go straight to God over and over and over and to tell God's light, come in, get into my body, rattle my body, activate my body, shift me, come in, breathe God's light in, drink God's light in. Stop thinking God's already in you, because I'm telling you, if you think God's light's already in you and you just need to turn it on, you're going to find yourself in loops. I'm telling you, you've got to call God's light in. It's going to change everything. I can't tell you how many people took the 40-day class and said to me, many different people said, I thought I knew God until I took this class. By the way, I didn't teach God. All we did was sit with God. All we did every day for 40 days was bring God's light in. That's all we did. We invited God's light in. That's it. I didn't teach God. And people said, I thought I knew God until I took this class. And I realized I didn't know God until now, meaning we think we know God. We think logically, I am God, God's in me, I feel God, I am God, love is God. It's all mind. You are not in control, my friend, when God comes in. God changes you. Out of the blue, you feel more calm, not because you did it, not because you did exercises or you changed your nervous system or you did a meditation correctly. When God comes in, God changes you. The light of God changes you naturally, out of the blue, for no reason. You do nothing, and all of a sudden you are shifting. That's God. That's the power and magic of God's light. And it happens when you start to humbly say, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Let me start inviting God's light back into me. God, come into me. God, fill me up. Bring the holy light of God into my body. I want to breathe God through me today. I'm going to walk God with me today. I'm going to see through the lens of God. I'm going to speak through the lens of God. God, use my body. God, use my vessel. One of the biggest psyops on this planet is that you are already God, which on one level you are, because you have a God particle in you and that you came from God. So yes, 100%, you already are an aspect of God in you. But if you stop there, you are being stunted by the psyop out there trying to control you, making you believe that if you just stay here, within your body and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm God. It's all inside of here." You're actually never going to truly receive the light of God because they've disconnected it. They're geniuses. And by the way, God knows that. Why do you think Jesus came onto the planet? Why do you think he came on the planet? He came onto the planet to save us from the energies that have been controlling this planet for 7,000 years. He came onto the planet to point us back up to God and to say, you need the Holy Spirit to descend back down into your body to activate God within you so that the kingdom of heaven can be found and felt within you. 2,000 years ago, life was very different. So his teachings would probably be somewhat different now. He would probably be talking a lot about the infiltration, but they didn't have that in the same way that we have it now. I guarantee you he would be talking about bringing the Holy Spirit into your body and walking and breathing as God. That's what baptism is. It's a rebirth. It's a rebirth. Two systems or multiple systems that you and I are playing in. When you are reborn, born again, you are taken from this system of manipulation, mind control, sinful behaviors that are based on pleasures and addictions, and you are born into God's light. You are born again. You are brand freaking new. Sure, it may take months, maybe days, maybe a year, but you become new. This is the power of God, not you, not another deity, not another angel, not another master, God, and only God. And this is the shift that you and I are going to walk down right now together, hopefully. And we're going to learn how to activate this, to bring this in. And a majority of people are not going to want this because they're going to have to come to terms with what has been controlling them. And they're not going to want to let that go. That's okay. It's totally okay. Right? It's going to be a very big ask to walk with God. It's a big ask to activate the God particle. But it's also the greatest thing that will ever happen to humanity. And if we can do it in a way that is gentle and soft, people will come along. They'll come along for the ride. All right, you guys. Please, if you are not following me on Facebook or here on YouTube or where else, join my newsletter so that you can find out my new account I'll be creating on Instagram because I'm pretty sure I'll be creating a new account. Everything's linked down below. Get on the newsletter just so you can get information. Join the app that I have, Lorie Lad app. Join that. Join my SOAR community. What else? Join me on Facebook if you're not on Facebook. Anywhere where you can figure out where I'll be once I start up again. Once I create brand new, we're just going to create something brand spanking new. We're going to let the old go. Not today, Satan. Not today. I'm going to go hang out with Jesus. I'm going to go sit in the park, even though it's freezing. I'm going to pray. I'm going to bring God's light in. Yes. Yes. What a time to be alive, you guys. What a time to be alive. Ooh, we're going to activate that God particle. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it simple and also hands up. Hands up. All right, you guys, stay tuned. If you don't see me on Instagram, it's because I'm not on Instagram right now. So get your little booties over to, I don't know, get on my app, the Lori Lad app. That's a great way to stay connected with me. Um, and we'll see what happens. Have an incredible Thanksgiving if you celebrate that here in the United States. Enjoy. Um, and is there anything else? Oh, one last thing before you go. Don't go. One last thing. One last thing. Hold. Pause. We're doing our 5-day monthly fast. So every month, at the end of the month, in my SOAR community, we do a 5-day fast. It's glorious. You can do whatever fast you want. Fast on social media, fast off your family, fast off of working, fast off whatever. Fast off of certain foods. Anyway, we're doing our next one. We're starting on Friday. It's a 5-day fast. And you can join the fast without having to join the SOAR community just by joining the fasting space. So I'm going to leave that link down below if you're curious. Um, it's $10 to join. It's $10 every month. And you can join us for the 5-day fast. If you've never done one, you're kind of curious, join us and just try it out. So I'm going to leave that link down below in the description box. And that starts on Friday. I will be going live tomorrow to talk about it, to get everyone prepared. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you want to actually join our SOAR community, it's only $44 a month. So it's like $34 more if you want to join the community. All right, you guys, let's go. I am on fire for whatever God's going to show us. Nothing's going to break our stride. Nothing's breaking my stride. You want to take my Instagram? Take it. I will survive. I will survive. Okay, you guys, I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday and join us. Fasting after Thanksgiving is the best. It's the best time to do it. Mwah. Bye, you guys.